What's up, fam? It's your boy Mar, back at it again with another chest and shoulders workout for you guys. Right here, we are starting off with a few stretches. These are like some regular to-do stretches that I typically start out with whenever I'm first getting into really any upper body exercise. This one is great for opening your shoulders. I actually got it from CBOM. Where he didn't necessarily have a resistance band, but you just try to bring your arm like to as far, like as close as you can to your body, and then pull it away from your body as much as possible. I use a resistance band just because it gives just a little bit more tension, and it feels like I can focus a little bit more on my muscles. Then we're just doing the basic, forearm and twist stretch. I like to get that twist in there so it's a dynamic stretch, and typically like to do it on both sides. Really make sure I'm getting all of that. When you do it on both sides and you really give it that extra stretch, you also get it inside your back as well, so that it just feels a little bit better. And I do about 10 to 15 of these, and then I go right back to the shoulder stretch again. We're just moving with it, trying to keep it dynamic, trying to keep that momentum inside of our body, trying to get warmed up right before we get into our first sets. And we're doing this on both sides. So pull over one side, pull over to the other side, and really just try to get it. Next, we're jumping right into it with some good dips. This is about my I think it was my second set here. So I was getting a bit fatigued. And so I'm kind of pushing through it a bit fast, but I want to make sure that you guys focus on the contraction of the muscle and really making sure you guys can grow here. Then I got interrupted.
I like to go fishing.
Fishing? Yeah, so I'm not very talkative overall, like at the gym, but I do like to take as much time as I can to really be sociable so I can speak to the people that I see on a regular basis instead of just being a stranger. And this is one of the janitors, and we definitely made a good little conversation while I was doing my sets.
Huh? We raised horses when we raised horses.
That being said, as you can see, sometimes I can get a little bit carried away, and so can they, but focusing more back on the dips. I usually like to finish my fourth or fifth set of dips as a warm-up, but I like to finish it with these. Again, really trying to press as much as I really can. As you can see, I'm not even doing a full extension, so I'm mostly focusing on that chest, and since this is chest and shoulders, that's exactly what I'm doing. You see my hips are behind me. If my hips was in front of me or below me, then I would get more attention, more focus on my actual triceps if it was the full extension, as you can see when I pop back up. But these decline or descending dips are some of the best I've ever seen. I got this from Dwayne Johnson, seeing him do this as his last set, and it's insane for your chest. Absolutely just makes it grow. I think dips is probably the best compound movement that you can really do for your chest, aside from anything else. And then we're jumping right into it. You already know what we're talking about here, baby. We got pull-ups, nice, good chest to bar, full extended all the way down pull-ups, really pulling all the way through. Trying not to kip as much. And as you can see, my legs aren't all the way together. I think this is like one of my second or third sets of me doing it, but if you guys can, try to make sure you don't kip, try to make sure you get that full extension, try to make sure you are really contracting those muscles and trying to get as many reps as you can when doing this movement. As you can see here as well, I'm really fighting for these last few reps, really taking a little time at the bottom to give myself a little bit of some time, but I'm still pushing through, still trying to get it done. And then we're going to jump in right here to just some incline bench press with dumbbells, incline dumbbell bench press. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit of how to exactly set this up. I typically do the 1, 2, 3 pause, and then I pull through my legs with the big chest upwards. Use my wraps as well from Gym Reapers in order to make sure that I have a good grip and that my grip is not the limiting factor. Then I use my knees with the weights on them to push up off, and then it's there, right? And then we just go right into the set so that you don't have to start at the bottom. You can start at the top. And I'm going pretty fast. This might be my second or third set here. But you want to make sure that you are coming all the way down to your shoulder joint and pushing all the way through it to the top until your arms are fully extended. As you can see, I started to crash right there. I probably have one more rep in me, but you want to get about 12 to 15 per set. And here's just another close-up of what I was doing. You see me coming all the way down to my shoulder joint. Maybe not necessarily hitting my shoulders because we don't want to, we want to prevent risk of injury. But coming down to the shoulder joint, not necessarily hitting the dumbbells at the top together, but trying to get them as close as we possibly can while still getting that full extension. For me and my body, it just feels better whenever, I'm pushing through the movement and I'm going as slow as I possibly can back down as well. Next up, we got the seated shoulder press on the Smith machine. This is my starting weight, or you could say like my warm-up set, right? And as you can see, the bar is going below my nose, damn near touching my chest, and then we're pushing through all the way up for as many reps as possible. Again, really focusing on that contraction, looking at all the different aspects of where we're going, and then just going from there. Then I went up by 25, so I was pumping at 185 from there. And this was a little bit of a struggle for me, but I was still able to get out a good 10 to 12 reps. And so again, typically if I hit 12 reps, I like to just go up from there until I can only do about 10 reps, 8 to 10 reps. And then if I can do only just 8 reps or barely get 10, I like to stay right there. Today I was pretty strong, so I added another 10, and this was heavy. I'm not even gonna lie, this is pretty heavy. So I only did a couple of reps here, and as you can see, I was not going all the way down to my chin, but I was going at least past my nose. Once you go past your nose, you're definitely getting a full stretch for the chest and the shoulders, and that's what you want. You want to have a big stretch so that you are pushing through. I want to make another note as well. If you can look at my thighs, I'm using my legs as a foundation for me to push up the weight above my head, right? So it's like you need to have a good foundation and a good stabilization at the bottom and a good straight back, maybe a bit bowed if you need to, depending on how it really works for you. I have my back here bowed a little bit, and I'm just pushing through. Next up, we have some cable chest press here. And this is a great exercise for really growing your chest, depending on where exactly you put the cables. You can put them high, medium, or low to hit different parts of your chest. I typically always put them high or, medium high, somewhere between there so I can get the upper chest action. My chest is all the way up. I got a pretty straight, if not bowed back, right? My legs are far apart so I can get that full extension and really focus on that chest. The more of a angle, or should I say slope, that you have within your legs, and you are strictly just getting that contraction within your chest and your shoulders, the better pump you'll get. And you want to come down like that by just stepping back with one leg, and then you'll be there. And this is a better view of how you can kind of set this up, and really the extension that you want within your legs, so that you can really focus on that chest. And if you look at my chest and the muscle fibers that's kind of moving, that's definitely what you want. And everybody's different when it comes to how they specifically kind of close each rep. My arms are extremely long, and so my elbows kind of buck in a little bit too, so it's just a little bit of a difference. Then we got some lateral raises with the elbows leading it instead of these. These are just regular lateral raises, but we're trying to focus more on the side delt. So if you can focus more, or focus your elbows to then lead the weight up, as you can see, pinkies up, elbows up, then you're gonna get more of that side delt action with a little bit of front delt, but mostly that side delt action, which is exactly what we were going for here. And I would go a little bit slower than what I'm going here. Obviously, I'm fatigued. We're probably like third or fourth set in here. But you want to make sure that you're doing a full extension with each one. And then we're going to go into one of my favorite shoulder exercises or side delt exercises, which is just the cable side delt raise, right? And you want to make sure that your footing is good. Everybody does their footing differently, but you want to just make sure that you really, if you do these correctly, as you can see, I'm coming down slow on the eccentric, and then I'm really contracting my arm up, but I'm probably fatigued again. So, it's just, the form kind of wanes as you get more fatigued, but this is a better view of like how slow you kind of want to go. It doesn't have to be like microscopically slow or, snail slow, but you definitely want to make sure that you're doing a slow eccentric and then a pretty quick concentric of the muscle whenever you're doing it. And I think my overall just form here with my leg just looks crazy. And then I usually like to finish off my chest and shoulder workouts. So mostly just all my chest workouts with some banded push-ups or some incline push-ups. Something to really focus on that chest. I'm doing really nice and slow, popping up at the top. I usually do a slow eccentric and then a fast concentric up whenever I do this. But if you do these right, you'll feel the burn really in like that 5th or 6th rep. And really just trying to, again, focus on that. Make sure that you're using your whole hand whenever you're doing push-ups. And you can do this by just internally rotating your hands towards like your body and focus more on that. But as you can see, I was gassed after this. But make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. All my socials and stuff. I'll see you guys later.